The first time the doorbell asked if I was alone, I answered. The second time I didn't. The third time used my mother's voice and laughed. I installed the camera myself on a Sunday. Pilot holes, masonry anchors, the levels bubble right between its lines. Hardwired, transformer checked, chime kit swapped. The app walked me through the ring and the IR test and the motion zones, dulled out toward the sidewalk so headlights wouldn't ping me. I named it front door and turned on audio. At night, it shows the world in that grainy black and white that makes even grass look like static. It was a Thursday. I'd worked late, ate crackers over the sink, and let the TV talk to itself. The house felt like it does after midnight, big in some places, too small in others. A neighborhood app had been buzzing earlier. Someone posted a blurry clip. A hooded figure at a porch, standing too close to the glass. The caption said, "Don't reply if they ask if you're alone." Comments split into true crime and eye rolls and someone linking an article. I flicked past it. I thought rules like that are for people who want to be told what to feel. At 12:17 a.m., the phone on the coffee table vibrated. Motion at front door. I thumbed it open. The fisheye showed the porch lights cone, the top step, the edge of my doormat with the O in home worn to a square. No person. Just a blur of moth, a wire glint, the faint silver of the street. The IR made the air shimmer. I listened through the app anyway. There's always a little hiss, a little far-off hum. Then, close to the mic, a whisper. "Are you alone?" The app transcribed it under the video, gray letters over dark. My mouth went dry in that useless way. I could have closed it. Instead I hit talk and heard my voice tinny outside. "Who is it?" I said. "Can I help you?" Silence answered like a hand not offered back. The IR clicked its relay. A car 2 streets over rushed like ocean. I ended the session and walked to the real door to look through my peephole. The porch was empty except for my shoes from Tuesday, waiting dumbly by the mat because I forgot to bring them in. Next door pinged again. Someone on Pine. Same thing. Don't answer. They want to hear if you're alone. I told myself multiple people can be wrong together. I locked the deadbolt in a way that felt performative and went back to the couch. The phone chimed, "New event visitor." I pressed, already mad at myself for pressing. Audio first, the faint hiss, then, "Are you alone?" Not the same recording. The cadence shifted. The S in is a little wetter. The feed showed the porch, the glass of the sidelight reflecting my TV's washed-out blues. "Say no." I whispered to no one, to myself. I didn't hit talk. I watched my own porch freeze into a stillness only screens can make. The landline rang. I don't use it for anything except the alarm company, but I keep it because storms happen and old tech knows how to keep breathing. The caller ID said front door. I let it go 3 rings because the binder voice in my head said don't. Then I picked up anyway because I am not better than compulsion. "Hello," I said, hearing myself in the tiled echo of my small hallway. "Don't answer through the camera first," my voice said back to me on a delay that wasn't delay enough. Brighter, thinner, the way a recording flattens. "Close it. Then answer." I hung up and stared at the handset as if it had expressed an opinion. The app showed front door is in use by another device, which made no sense. I live alone. I watched the history thumbnails roll in. Motion, 12:17. Visitor, 12:19. Motion, 12:19. Audio, 12:19. The last one had a transcript stub that said, "Visitor message, are you Al?" Truncated. My porch light hummed that quiet electrical headache noise. I toggled the light off in the app. The feed went grayer, edges softer. In the black glass I could see my living room reflected like a memory, TV flicker, lamp shade, the faint suggestion of my shoulder. In the sidelight's reflection, the TV's captions were a beat behind the mouth again. I told myself compression. I told myself nothing. I opened the camera audio one more time and said, "Cheerful, stupid." "Nope, not alone." I meant I have neighbors, I have eyes on my house, I have a spine. The app transcribed my answer as yes. My cheeks went cold. I said louder, "No, not alone." The app printed yes again, as if it had already decided. Something tapped the wooden frame beside the lens. Not a knock. Like a fingernail thinking about it. The mic swallowed a small cough that wasn't mine. The neighborhood app buzzed a push alert. Safety tip. Do not engage if you are asked about occupancy. Contact non-emergency. A thumb whirl smudged the screenshot they used. Someone had pressed the tip into the upload like it might help. I flicked it away. The Doorbell app gave me a polite banner. Quick replies available. Try. We can't come to the door right now. I scrolled through them. At the bottom, a new one I'd never seen. Yes. I didn't create that. I pressed the pencil icon to edit. The whole list blinked and went back to default as if it had always been this. My porch light came back on without me touching it. The app threw me the little toast you get when a linked device toggles. Linked device change state. Front porch. I don't have linked devices. I have 2 lamps and a weak understanding of scenes. The camera view went a shade darker as if something stood just outside the cone of light. The speaker made the low feedback of a mouth too close. Then, softly, "Are you alone?" Not a whisper now. Conversational. Hungry the way questions are when they don't accept answers. I didn't press talk. I backed away until my shoulder met the door frame and the wood was cool through my t-shirt. The landline rang again. Front door. I watched the feed and picked up without saying hello first, like that would protect me somehow. "Don't say your name," my voice said. Too bright. A little higher. The exact way I sound on a voicemail I wish I could re-record. Close the feed. Then call. Without thinking I looked at the top right corner of the app. A little sharing icon pulsed. 2 viewers. It should have been 1 me. I poked it. "Front door," it said. And under that, "Kitchen display." I don't own a kitchen display. I haven't set up anything with a screen in the kitchen except a recipe book with gravy on page 71. The porch light flickered twice, like eyes trying to agree on a blink. A faint ring of fog appeared on the glass, just mouth size, and held its shape as if the cold weren't outside but in the mirror of the pane. I heard the catch in my own throat the way you hear someone stand up in a quiet chapel. I ended the feed. I dialed non-emergency with the unlovely speed you only use when you really don't want to seem like you're overreacting. The operator asked for my name. I froze hard. I'm at address, I said, giving the street and cross. There's someone whispering into my doorbell, asking if I'm alone. Please don't answer them, she said, trained gentle. Are you alone? I swallowed with the receiver away from my mouth because I didn't trust my breath. No, I said finally, which was the largest lie I could hold, and the smallest prayer I could make. While she took the details, my phone buzzed with a new clip in the background. Visitor message recorded. I opened it without meaning to. The video showed my porch empty, my doormat polite, my TV's color flicker in the glass. My voice said, soft and cooperative. Yes, I'm alone. The operator asked me to stay on the line. Units are in the area, she said, calm but quick. Is there anyone else in the residence? It wasn't exactly, are you alone? But my chest heard it like the same instrument. My neighbor's awake, I said, which might have been true somewhere close to here. Lights on across the street. Good, she said. Keep your doors locked. Don't engage through the device. Are you alone right now? I pressed the handset against my shoulder and breathed in my shirt so I couldn't hear my own answer. I'm at address, I said again. Front porch. No one visible, voice through the camera. The quiet before her reply had a tiny modem sound in it, a shape I used to hear when the house was younger. Say your name for the record. I didn't. The line hiccuped like someone muted me, and then the same request came back on a half-second delay in a tone closer to my mother's than a stranger's. I hung up without saying goodbye and hated how rude it felt. The house had begun to hum like it was remembering what walls are for. The transformer in the doorbell had its own headachy thread in it. The chime box down the hall made a noise without ringing. A small brittle click like a music box considering a song. My app threw a banner. Visitor at front door. I opened it and met an empty porch and a ring of fog on the glass at mouth height. It held, as if the breath wasn't outside where the cold was, but in the skin of the pane. The mic picked up a noise I didn't own. A little wet cough. Then are you alone? Not whispered now, almost bored, like someone doing phone surveys. I did nothing. The quick replies list pulsed. We can't come to the door right now. Leave package. Please come back later. The last line, yes, had a green dot beside it like it wanted to be chosen. The kitchen display icon blinked. For a moment it read 3 viewers. The third slot named itself front hall. I stepped out of the living room without stepping into the hall and stood with my spine against the wall where the thermostat lives. The paint cool under my shoulder blades. In the kitchen, the microwave's dark glass watched the room back. A small circle of fog appeared there and stayed. I walked like a person approaching a stray dog, hands where everyone could see them. The microwave clock said 12:17. My phone said 12:23. I pressed the back of my hand to its door and felt only my skin, cold on cold. The fog circle didn't smudge. It looked printed on. In the glass I saw my lamp behind me and the living room's doorway and the edge of the hall, a little too far into frame, like the perspective had been stretched. The kitchen display viewer count icon flicked to 1 and back to 2 again. I opened the app's linked devices tab I never use. Front doorbell. Kitchen display. Their MAC addresses lay there like tiny license plates. I tapped kitchen display. The info card read device name, kitchen display, room, kitchen, camera access, allow 2-way audio, last active now. I hit remove. The button depressed and came back up and nothing changed. The landline rang with the same front door ID. I let it ring and watched my porch not hold a body. On the 4th ring it stopped and the chime box in the hall gave 1 clean ding without dong, the last note of a song with no first. The phone lit with a new clip. Ring detected. I pressed play. The video showed the porch a shade darker than a few seconds ago, the ring of fog on the glass trembling like it wanted to laugh. The transcript wrote, "Yes, I'm alone." I finally said, to the empty room, "I'm not." Felt like prayer more than correction. The app printed yes anyway. In the window of the sidelight, behind the fair fisheye of the camera image, my TV's captions ran a line late against the anchor's mouth, like always. My reflection stood too straight, then sagged into me. The little hairs at my inner elbows felt electric. Something in the kitchen adjusted plastic against fabric, and the air there changed temperature by 1 honest degree. I killed the circuit to the chime box at the breaker because you're supposed to take away toys when they misbehave. The doorbell retained battery and stayed alive. The porch feed stayed fed. The kitchen display did not deregister. The house was honest about that much. I called Erin. Her photo bloomed and the call tried and then let me have her. "Hello?" she said, tired becoming alert. "What's wrong?" "Don't say my name," I said instead of hi, and then apologized for how weird that sounded. Something's, asking if I'm alone through the camera. "Oh," she said, and I heard her sit up. "Are you?" "Don't finish that question," I said. "Please, will you stay on? Maybe come sit in your car out front and keep your headlights on my porch until the cops arrive." "Yeah," she said immediately. "Text me your quick live link." She meant the shared view of the camera. My thumb hovered. The idea of inviting anyone into that space felt exactly like pressing on a bruise and hoping it stops aching. But people are eyes and I needed eyes. I copied the link and sent it. My phone buzzed receipt. The viewer count held at 2. Not 3. Not Erin. The kitchen display stayed. "Got it," Erin said. "I'm watching. I don't wait." It's like, the living room reflected? Is that behind the glass? I didn't answer. The microwave's fog circle had resolved letters inside it. They were backward. In the oven door opposite they read right. "Stay still." Fine graphite-like lines etched the S wrong and left it like a child correcting. I heard the landline lift off its base by itself in my head and put it back down. The house felt like a held breath deciding something. My porch brightened. Headlights. Erin's car made a soft tire hiss at the stop. She stayed in high beams of permission. Hazard lights ticked with an honest mechanical relay. The doorbell shifted its IR for the glare and left the end of my doormat in silver. The audio hissed and a breath pressed to the mic. "Let us in," the voice said this time, plural like a weather forecast. "Police will ask." Aaron murmured in my ear from the phone. They always do. If you're alone. Don't. I know, I said. And in the speaker of the doorbell the breath copied us, matching and then missing by one. Blue washed the porch. A patrol car slid into the edge of the frame. Relief arrived in a human shape, then stalled. The officer moved through the cone of light with careful shoulders. He didn't come straight to the door. He put his hand out to the camera first like a person meeting a dog. Dispatch, he said into his lapel. The radio crackled. Copy. On scene. He knocked 3 even knocks. My chest did the same. Through the speaker, his voice came, clean. Sir/ma'am. Dispatch received a call. Are you alone in the residence? The rule crawled up my spine like a rope does, burning its lesson in. I didn't answer through the camera. I didn't speak in the hall. I called dispatch back on the landline instead and gave the cross street again and said, Your officer is at my door. Correct, the operator said. The modem tone ghost lived under her. Are you alone? I put my hand over the receiver and said to Aaron, Too loud. Headlights stay. Aaron clicked them higher and stayed. Please do not. The operator began, and then in my ear came my voice saying my full name, a little too bright, and the call went to a small, kind static. I set the handset down very gently as if stillness could be an answer. The officer knocked again, more like a friend this time. We just need to verify there's no one else inside. In the doorbell app the transcript wrote, Are you alone? I watched him through the peephole because wood beats glass. He looked wrong through it, bulbous fisheye, but his eyes were his eyes. The badge had edges. The breath in the cold made sense. He tilted his head, listening to a thing I couldn't hear, and his mouth shaped my name the way my mother shapes it when she leaves a message. He knocked, gentler. It's okay. Just say if you're alone. Behind me, in the kitchen, a soft fog circle appeared again on the microwave door. My skin felt too small. The kitchen display viewer dropped to 1 and went back to 2, the way a person breathes before deciding to speak. I didn't open the door. I raised my phone to the doorbell feed and hit end on the session until it ended. The screen went to a gray spinner for a second like a pupil closing. The audio cut. The porch was just picture, no mouth. The house exhaled an inch. Something clicked inside the door. Not the deadbolt, the little spring in the handle that decides between in and out. I pressed my palm to the wood. It was warmer than the room. A smell like old mint threaded the pine cleaner in the air like someone had chewed gum to keep from saying a name. Back away, I said to myself out loud, because my voice behaves when it is told to. 3 paces put my spine to the hallway's paint again. The officer's radio said a sound like a chime that knew only its last note. He stepped sideways to let the camera see the empty frame and held up both his hands. We'll wait right here, he said to no one and to me. The doorbell app, now closed, sent one last banner I didn't tap. Front door detected speech. Transcript available. It previewed one gray line over black. Yes, I'm alone. I set the phone face down on the console table and it hummed in my palm like a small animal deciding. I do not say my name at night in my own house anymore. I don't use the quick replies. I don't answer first through glass. When the porch light hums, I leave it low. Aaron still sits outside sometimes, headlights on, like a lighthouse that learned my address. The officer wrote a report that lives in a folder with my name on it. I haven't asked for it. Somewhere in my app there is still a linked device called Kitchen Display that I cannot remove. Once in a while, around 12:17, the landline rings and the ID says front door and I let it find air. Sometimes a ring of fog appears on the microwave door and holds there without smudging. Sometimes the app records a clip of an empty porch saying something I didn't say. The captions are tidy. Yes, I'm alone. If you install a camera, set your zones, hide your cords, update your firmware. Do that. Read the tips people paste with love and fear. Then write this somewhere you can see it in the dark. Don't answer first. Step back 3 paces. Keep your mouth closed. If a voice uses your name like your mother does, let the phone ring. There's one more line nobody wrote down for me, and I wish they had. When the question comes from inside the house, do not turn to see who is asking.